All right, a very good morning to you. It's good to see you. The show is Your World, and my name is Winnie Lubembe. Of course, today it's all about parenting. All right, so all the parents, please listen up. Or all people who want to become parents at some point, this is a very important conversation for you. All right, because like we all know, or we've had people say that parenting has never been easy, okay? But again, parenting in a digital world is proving to be among the greatest challenges that parents and families have ever faced. And in so many ways, it can be incredibly exciting to be alive. And of course, in this day and age where technology and digital and all those things, right? But for some, there remains some serious and very real challenges. So the question is, how has this new digitized age changed the face of parenting? And for the parents, what tools do you need, all right? And that is the question of the day that we're asking you right here on the show. That is, has parenting style changed in this digital era? And of course, we're comparing to how we were raised versus how our parents were raised versus how our grandparents were raised compared to now in this digital era where, of course, so many things are changing at a very, very fast pace. So the question is, has parenting changed? Our parenting style, rather, changed in this digital era? That is the subject of the conversation and the question that we're asking you today. And of course, you know the drill by now to reach us. And that is on your feedback. It's at NTV Kenya, both on Facebook and on Twitter. And tag me as well at Lubembe_Winnie. That is on Twitter. But at the same time, our lines are open. So if you want to call in live and share your experience as far as parenting is concerned now in this digital era, feel free to do so. And of course, we'll be receiving your calls as we continue with the conversation. I have like 2 comments here to start with from Twitter, all right? And that is the question that we asked you, and that is, has parenting style changed in this digital era? So Matthew Zondoro says on Twitter, says, very true. The time parents take to sit down, listen, and understand their children is no more the same to children taking too much time on social media. Remember, here in this digital world, people meet different agents and culture selling their stuff. All right. And then someone else says, this is Liz Thogori, still on Twitter, says, yes, it has. In my time, there was no negotiation. My parents had the last say. These days, I see parents coming down to their kids' level. That is negotiating. I think it's not so bad if used well. Okay, I see that. It's not so bad if used well. Come down to your kids' level, try to understand them and reason with them at the same time, all right? But back then, the parent had the last say, okay? So all the parents watching us this morning, has the parenting style changed over time? We'll be looking at your feedback as we continue with the conversation. But right about now, let me introduce my guest for the day. Rosaline Keegan, who's a marriage and family therapist, is here in the studio with us. It's so good to see you and to meet you. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming by this morning. You look lovely. The color really, really brings out, you know, your skin tone. You look lovely.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. And thank you so much for coming this morning. And I'm just going to start with that question that we're asking everybody. I don't know whether you're a parent.
Yes, I'm a parent of adults.
Okay. Okay.
And one teen.
A teenager.
Yeah.
How is that like?
Very different.
Yeah.
From parenting the adults.
Okay. But
it's amazing because she teaches me things every day. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you find them laughing at you when you don't understand some of those terms and this?
Yeah. What happens is you allow them to teach you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Just
right.
allow, because they know better. Because we were not born with the digital.
I mean,
world.
listen, no.
Yeah. So don't assume you know.
No, you
Let
don't.
them teach you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of parents say, you know, especially with the teenagers who sometimes can be a little bit, you know, crafty and witty here and there. And we hear a lot of parents say, you think I've never been a teenager before?
Yeah.
I have been a teenager before, so I know some of those things. But again, times have changed and things have changed, right? So let's just talk about parenting. Now, not even parenting now. Let's just talk about the role of parenting, right? What exactly does that entail? How is it like? Ideally, quote unquote, what it was supposed to be.
Okay.
Right? Because there's a lot of things that happen that sometimes you're like, okay.
Okay. As a parent, you're a steward. You're the one who is going to bring up a life.
Okay.
And this life you're going to bring up, this person you're going to bring up, is you need to teach them life skills so that they can be functional adults.
Okay.
So basically the role of a parent is to bring up a child to be a functional adult.
Okay.
So that when they're in their adulthood, they can be able to make decisions that will help them. And the cycle goes on and on and on. So your children can also be, when they're grown up, get their children and teach them also life skills.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
So that is your role, to guide, to mentor, to teach.
Okay.
Yeah. And to also discipline.
I'm happy that you brought that point
Yeah.
up.
The child.
Right? Because right now we don't see, not that we don't see a lot of discipline. I think the sort of like, not the narrative, but the style has changed.
Yeah.
Because back then, I mean, you know, a few years ago when we were growing up, discipline meant kiboko, you're being chapward. Like before you even say, no, I did not do it, you've been chapward kwanza, and then you explain later. But right now, we're seeing what Liz was saying on Twitter, that parents have to sort of like come down to their kids' level, negotiate, you know, try to explain things and say, you know, this is wrong, you're not supposed to do this, and all those things. So of course, things have sort of like changed. And it's necessary, right?
Yeah.
To sort of like embrace this change, because again, things are changing, so does the style has to change as well. But at the same time, can we look at the different types of parents that we have, and then how that impacts how they're raising their children now in this digital era?
Okay, we have different types of parent. We have the authoritative parent.
Okay.
Yeah. Authoritative parent is basically how most of us were brought up.
Yes.
My way or the highway.
Or the highway.
Yeah, my way or the highway.
Yeah.
Whereby the rules comes from the parent and no one else, and you can't say anything as a child. Yeah. This kind of a child will grow up with self-esteem issues.
Okay.
They'll grow up not having life skills. They'll grow up not understanding who they are, because they were not given an opportunity to make decisions or to air themselves out.
Or make mistakes.
Or
and
make
learn from
mistakes.
them,
They were brought up in fear. Then we have the helicopter parents.
All right.
Yeah, these parents they hover around their children. Yeah,
Okay.
everything is they call it boy. Is there anything you want?
Baba.
Or baba, or everything is permissive. They're very permissive. They're hovering over their children. Everything, anything the child wants. I want the latest iPhone. Even the other one has not been spoiled, but they bring in the buy. So this child is, as an adult, doesn't know boundaries.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is entitled. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is where you see a 40-year-old man throwing tantrums because you denied them a parking.
Okay.
The parking, they didn't get the parking they wanted. So they start screaming at the waiter or at the attendant.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're very entitled. Then we have the authoritative parent.
Okay.
This authoritative parent is what the listener was talking about, whereby it's a balance.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's where we all need to go. It's a balance whereby you give your child, you have rules, and you have the rules in your house.
Right.
You have the values in your house, and each and every of your child know that. But as they get older, you need to start now releasing some of these rules and regulations, and also negotiating values. So when they want to go out, or when they want a phone, so you sit with them and tell them which kind of phone, and is there any rules to that phone, and if you say no, you give them a reason why. As in, it's kind of a parent where you're open to discussion with your children.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned authoritarian and authoritative.
Yeah.
So there's a difference.
There's a big difference.
Big difference.
One is
my way
or the highway.
Like you said, yes.
And the other one is let us listen. But you need to understand, I'm not your friend. I'm the parent. You see, and I'm listening to you, but I might not agree what you're saying, and I might say no. But at that time also, I might listen to you, and I might also be wrong, and I'll be able to apologize and say, okay, I'm wrong, but let us do this together. Let us work together. Reasoning together.
Yeah,
exactly.
and see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So then, understanding these types of parents and parenting styles, right? And then there's this other side of the digital space, right? Where, again, like you said, kids now are born with the internet, right? I mean, the previous generations, some were never born with the internet, others were lived without and then with the internet, but now it's like they're constantly living on the internet, right? So understanding the type of parenting, so what works and what does not work now in this digital era, according to the different parenting styles.
Okay, most like Generation Z.
Yes.
Yeah. Most of them were brought up with the internet.
100%.
Immediately you were born, when your mom was breastfeeding, she was on the phone.
Yes.
So as little as day one, your mom is breastfeeding you, but she's, and by the time you could even watch, the phone is there for you to keep quiet. There's an iPad, there's a tablet, and all that. So these children were actually born with digital. Actually, they're the digital era completely.
Yes.
So you can't. It can be very difficult for you also to decide. You know what? These things are not good, because you actually introduce them from the word go.
And something else that, and we keep talking about this every day, is how children learn by observing.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
You don't tell them no, and yet you do the same thing.
Yeah.
They'll ask you, why are you telling me no, and yet you do the very same thing. So
Yeah.
they grew up knowing and seeing and observing how the parents are behaving and what they're doing with their gadgets, either the smart TV or the phones or iPads, and all those things, and what you think. So then it becomes difficult for you to tell them no.
No.
You cannot use these things.
Yeah. And you're the role model.
Yeah.
So the most important thing to do in what parents, and I always tell parents, what you can do is you need to have some rules in the house. Meal times, no phones.
Okay.
And okay, let me say, the more you delay giving your child a phone, the better.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do not be in a hurry to get them a phone.
Yeah.
Delay as much. Okay. If you've watched these movies that are coming on Netflix about the internet and Google and all that, most people who work in these things don't even give them their children phones, because they know about the addiction when it comes to phone. If you as an adult can be addicted on your phone, so what about a child whose brain is still developing?
Still developing.
Yeah.
I see that.
Yeah.
I see that.
Yeah. So the more you can delay, the better. But the thing is, these children were still born in this era where there's so much, where there's a phone. So it's not, again, denying them.
Okay.
It's educating them and talking to them about the pros and cons of phones. Create a timetable, create time. Maybe you can say, I'll give my 13-year-old 1 hour or 2 hours of the day. You can be on your phone. Then after that, leave it.
Okay.
Don't allow your children to sleep with the phone in the bedroom or with any electrical gadget in the bedroom, because they don't know. Yeah. If an adult, once you open your Instagram account, you're always there, and you are a whole adult.
Yes.
So what about this child?
A child. Yeah.
Yeah, who doesn't know much boundaries, and we're just shooting ourselves on the face by allowing this is a whole world. It's a good thing, yes, but it can be used.
Also be, Okay. All right. So we'll look at the good and the bad side of the digital, the digital space, and then finding balance, because like I said, finding balance is the most important thing. You cannot completely deny them, because this is the world they were born into, right? This is what they were introduced to. I mean, since they were born. So really, there's no way you'll say that you will deny them completely and say, I'm cutting you off internet, completely. Because some of them actually use the internet to study, right? So you can't deny them completely. Yeah. But then the thing is finding balance. So this different parenting, I'm still going back to the different parenting styles, right? So like we said, so authoritarian might or might not work. The thing is, like you're saying, try and find balance with the same. Yes, be the parent, let them know that you're not their friend. But no, I think I'm talking more on the authoritative way. Allowing them to be kids, allowing them to be your friend, but to some level, right? A bit of a boundary here and there. But what about the authoritarian who... That is how they were raised, so that is how they know parenting to be. Will they have a difficult time raising their kids now?
Authoritarian parents don't have a relationship with their children. Yeah, they don't have. They've always have difficulties in raising children. In fact, what happens is when you're becoming an adult, you find that you don't want to go home. because you don't have a relationship with your child. With your child.
Yeah.
So what will happen is everything is a no, 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 no.
Okay.
So this child in this digital era will end up now going even to a neighbor or to the askari at the to look at a phone because, or we end up now stealing when you're or when in the bathroom. They'll end up and they'll know. The children are very sharp. They'll know your password, so they'll wait for you. So you're actually you think you're too. I always say, parent, don't be strict. Just be firm. So you as an authoritative, you're very strict.
Okay.
But what you're doing is you're bringing a child who's a rebellious. Because everyone in school has seen this thing on Instagram. You don't have access. So what do? You still you go to your neighbor, you get any other way to or you save and buy a phone secretly. And buy a phone secretly, the parents would have. So this parent does not have an idea of what is happening in the child's life.
Yeah. Okay. And aside from them missing out on what's happening, in the world and all those things, this aspect of detachment, of course, that affects them also as they grow up because they don't have that sort of relationship, so they can't talk about the things that they're going through. Their day, how school was, because the parent is not giving them that, that environment, right? So then mentally, because I'm a little bit then concerned, because what we're seeing now with the Gen Zs is that they're very outspoken, and they will say things, if they do not like it, they will say, I do not like this. They're very outspoken as compared to the previous generations where you were taught respect, quote unquote, but really it was more of fear than respect, right? So then mentally, how does this affect this current generation and even the generations to come if we as parents continue with this sort of style, and that is authoritarian just because that is how parenting us?
So what happens is you're going to bring up a very insecure child.
Yeah.
So the attachment is very insecure, or avoidant.
Yeah.
Because this child is fear. They have a lot of fear. The self-esteem, that's mentally, their self-worth.
Yeah.
Because authoritarian parents have words. They use a lot of words or expressions that you're not worth it, and I'm the law. You don't have to. I can't listen to you. It's me, or you don't have to talk. So when you bring up a child that kind of environment, the self-esteem is not there. The self-worth is not there. Yeah. So this is a child who, even if they were very good in what they're going to do, they're people pleasing also. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because they don't know themselves. They don't have they don't have identity. Yeah. That's a kind of the mental issues they're going to bring up this child. They'll also have a lot of anxiety. Yeah.
And you do not want that for your child.
And you don't have that.
Because then they don't thrive either in school or even in their social networks or even at home because now they're scared. Yeah,
they're very scared for So what happens is this child, you pray that as they're growing up, they'll get a mentor. Somebody around them, a good auntie or a sports or a good teacher or a coach to mentor them. Even at the place of work, you get somebody that mentor them now to come out from that cocoon, or they come for therapy so they can come out of that cocoon. And become now the better part of themselves. Yeah.
I mean, there was a time we had a teacher here, and she was saying the same. She was saying most of the time what we're seeing now is a lot of kids feel comfortable to talk to the teachers as compared to the parents. So they would share a lot of what they're going through, with the teacher as compared to the parent. So the parent does not know anything. So authoritarian,
the parent has no idea.
Yeah.
And if the authoritarian parent can also buy at some point, maybe when the child is 16, they decide to buy them a phone.
Okay.
Because I've decided I'll buy your phone at 18 or when you go to university. So now this gadget will be now this child's life.
Okay.
There's no one to talk to. My parents are very strict. I don't know myself. So now let me touch this phone and now see. So they start following people, the influencers that now will influence them to do the right thing. Okay. So that's why it's very important. Gadgets are very good. The internet is good. Social media is not bad. But we need to teach and guide these children on the right way. Because this thing is not going anywhere. I mean, I'm trying to imagine, it will come a time where we might not need this even.
Yeah.
It will be all over. There'll be no Wi-Fi. It will be free. I thank God my children are now big.
Anytime, yeah.
My children are small. Yeah. Talk to them now about digital.
Yeah, that's true.
Do not, yeah.
And we'll focus on three key parts, right? In the conversation today, that is the screen time, because we see a lot of parents say, "Yeah, I'm gonna limit my child's screen time," and all those things. So we'll talk about screen time. We'll talk about the addiction part, which you alluded to, and then we'll talk about the child safety and security as well, as far as the internet is concerned. Because we said, in as much as they have access, it means they are at risk of also, bullying and all these negative voices that are going on the internet. So we'll focus on that in just a second. But like you said, it's important to sort of delay your children having access to these devices. Could be a phone, could be an iPad, could be, we also have smart TVs, right? Right now at home, right? So also limiting that. So to what age would you advise, both as a therapist
and as a mom,
parent? Yeah. To what age? To what age is sort of ideal or recommended?
I think delay as much as you can. Delay as much as you can. And if it till at least 16 is a good age, if you can.
Okay.
There's so much pressure for especially 10, 13-year-old to have their phone, because almost everyone in school has a phone.
Yes.
Yeah. But if you can delay. Let them start by using your phone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then at least you have a bit of control in terms of
I think it's a bit of control, or at least, but you feel like you're okay. It's for you.
It's a bit more selfish.
It's for you, because these children are very smart.
True.
Once you give them your phone, you will not know what app they have, and it's on your phone. You might not know.
Yeah.
So again, it's just delay, and let them start with your phone, and you hope that whatever app they've gone to, it's okay.
So delay as much as you can, but we have different different scenarios, right? So one of them is the child is given a phone, especially this time where a lot of parents are working from home, right? And you know how sometimes kids can be, they want your attention all the time, but then you have to deliver at work and all those things. So parents will be like, what, just take this, keep yourself busy, let me work, and then we can maybe bond a little bit later, right? So they're given a phone. They're not limited on screen time, because they have, I need to work. And once you get deep into work, sometimes it'll be 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, you're still working. Another one is maybe the child needs the phone. Sometimes they go with it to school and come back home with, because the parent needs to know that the child is okay. The sense that maybe they don't have anyone to take them to school. And even when they come home, for example, maybe they do not have help. So the parent needs to know that, I can call my child anytime just to see, are you okay? Is there anything that you need? Did you get home safe? All those things. And then there are others who, that is the life they know, right? They just have access to whatever device that they have. So it's different scenarios for different people. I'm trying to imagine delaying for these different scenarios, how that's gonna be.
Yeah. If it's communication, you can always buy a kabambe.
I'm trying to wonder who will accept the kabambe now, but okay.
My child has reached home.
Yes.
There's a house phone there. Yeah, that is just a general house phone. You call, and have you reached home? Yeah, okay. Do your homework and
Okay. All right.
You can do that.
They don't have to necessarily have a smartphone.
They don't have to necessarily have a smartphone. But if they know they have a smartphone, what you can do, circumstances forces some parents.
Or those who are learning.
And maybe you're far, you're abroad, and your child is here, or you've been seconded maybe for 6 months, and your child is here, and maybe you really want to talk to them, or they've gone somewhere, and you have to give them a smartphone. The key thing is instill values.
Okay.
Instill values.
All right.
And talk to them.
Let them understand why they have the device.
Let them understand, why they have. Let them. At the end of the day, each and every person needs to make their own decisions.
Sure.
Yeah, they need to decide. I won't go to this app and I won't go to this. Yeah, because this device will help them. There's some when you leave because there's homework. Yeah.
Okay.
So you leave the phone. You buy a phone because for homework purposes, because they have to do research.
Yeah, they have to. Yes.
So you have to buy a smartphone for that. Yeah. So what you can do is also there's some things that you can also you get these tech people. So they can also put some, what do you call these things that prevent go from to other apps? Yeah,
yes,
yeah. You
like
can do that. Child safety,
Yes.
exactly. And the same thing is just the most important thing is try every other time just to talk and talk. Bring people into your child's life to talk to them. Talk to them about this. The best use of the gadgets.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Delay as much as you can.
Yes, delay.
But if it's difficult, or circumstances require them to have internet or to have these devices, then let them understand why they're having these devices.
Yeah.
Limit some of the apps that are there. But let me tell you, I've heard a lot of people say, my kids are cheeky, all right?
Yeah.
So I do not have some of these social media accounts or apps on the phone. They only have access to what they need, you know, and at that time. But one way or the other, they just have the social media accounts, and you wonder, okay, how did that happen? Because on the device that you're having, or that I gave you, they do not exist. They're not there, right? But one way or the other, they have access to this, you know, digital apps. So I think we need to also understand how smart, you know, these kids can be, and just try and limit how much access they can get, especially to social media. Okay, let's take a break. I think we're due for a break, Jackson. Okay, all right, so let's take a break, but of course when we come back, we'd need to hear more from you as far as, you know, the question of the day today, and that is, has parenting style changed in this digital era? And like I said, if you are a parent watching us this morning and you're thinking, well, Mimi, I have tried, okay, send your feedback to us. If you want to call in live and ask a question, you know, or pass a question to Rosaline as well, feel free to do so. Our lines are open, but again, we'll be looking at more of your feedback after the break. Stay with us.
My skin is my identity, my strength. It's unique and deserves care made specially for me. New Nivea Radiant and Beauty Advanced Care with 5 oils and 5 vitamins. 48-hour nourishment. Helps reduce appearance of stretch marks in just 2 weeks. New Nivea Radiant and Beauty Advanced Care for your shade of beautiful.
Get ready to tantalize your taste buds and embark on a culinary journey with Pishi Bomba, the ultimate cooking show that brings the flavors of the world right into your living room. Tune in this Sunday at 6:30 p.m. with me, Claire Karatu, for a mouth-watering adventure.
Pishi Bomba, in association with Coca-Cola.
Make your mealtime more magical. Buy any participating pack. Check under the cap to get your code and stand a chance to win free food shopping for a year, plus millions in instant cash, airtime, and shopping vouchers.
Yo! Loser! Smile for the selfie!
Kasmile bana, usituharibie pizza tu.
Nini wale mliangukia?
Tusianze hizo.
Sasa upendi kusikia ukweli ama ikitoka place fulani?
Wetu saa zingine ukiambia hivyo sana inafika tu mahali unaanza kufeel different.
Lakini kitu kubwa yaanze kutufanyia business busy imekuwa tu mbaya. Daisy sichapiana lakini hajanipatia any recent updates.
Own your dream home for as low as 1.98 million Kenya shillings in Vipingo Kilifi. SMS Vipingo to 22365 or call us today on 0740 400 215. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back. Glad to stay with us. The show is Your World, and of course, it's all about parents. And I hope that parents, you are noting down notes really as far as parenting in this digital era. And of course, like we said when we started the conversation, there are different parenting styles, the different types of parents, out there who are raising their children differently. But bottom line is, we are in the digital era. There's so many things that are happening. Our children now have access, 100% access to the internet. So then how do we make sure that, they're not only safe, but we also monitor what they're doing, but at the same time, not denying them access completely? Because Rosaline, during the break, you're saying, you know what, allow them to have all these apps. Because we've seen a lot of parents who are like, fine, I'll give you a device, yes, but I will delete all the social media accounts. I'll delete almost everything, and you just have what you need for the day, either for school or social. Okay, the social limit, there's no the social, right? Yes. So a lot of parents would limit all those things. But what you're saying is allow them.
What will happen is once everyone in school is having a TikTok account.
Okay.
And they're discussing about this TikTok. So once they are aware of that, what they'll do is they'll open a TikTok account in their friend's phone. Okay. Or a neighbor's phone. Or the maid's phone. Okay. Yeah? And that is not good. So that means that they're hiding. Okay. They're not truthful to you as a parent. And you're not teaching them. So you're pushing them to lie. Okay. So the best thing to do is let them open. If they really need a TikTok account, an Instagram account, let them open on the gadget. If they're using your phone, let them open that account on your phone. Okay. Yeah. So when you're having it on your phone, it's easier even now to discuss the do's and the don'ts.
Okay. My concern is now things have changed. We were discussing just during the break where like morality is going down, right? So people would post things online that is not good and safe for the kids to see or come across, right? And like we said, we've experienced children who have been bullied, others who've been lured, into, we have pedophiles, just all over the social media. We have some who have been lured into pornography. So if we allow them to have, all these apps, are we monitoring? Are we limiting, like child safe, there's child safe and then there's child lock, on the internet, the things that they can access that are child friendly. So are we limiting that as well? Or we just allowing them, but just talk to them and tell them, listen, this and this and this could happen on the internet. So if this happens, let me know.
Yeah. And, as we had said earlier, we need to talk, train, expose them as much as possible on the advantages and disadvantages of social media. Okay. And then the also things also need to tell them about logarithms. Yeah. So when you tell them when you Google or you search for this, this is what is going to pop up. Okay. So when it pops up, that's what you see. And when it pops out on your phone, so once anyone uses my phone, if I give my phone and you type something, it will pop up. True. So I'll notice why is this important? Someone must have searched this, and it's only me and my child is using it. So for me, that is not an opportunity to go make noise or quarrel. It's a teachable moment.
Okay.
So you use these as a teachable, because they'll Google so many things, and it will come up because they're using your phone. So use it as much as good to teach them. And you can't really overprotect. Put your child in a bubble. Yeah,
because they'll get out to the world at some point.
They'll get out of the world. You can't. So it's about if you're a Christian, you pray that, and you hope that whatever you've trained them and you've taught them, that they've learned, and it's good. It's good enough for them to go even when they enter campus. That they have a foundation that even when they're having their phone, they'll know. And they'll be curious, especially boys.
I mean,
boys most of the time will go on the pornography sites.
All right.
Yeah, they'll be very curious.
Because I mean, they're talking about it in school.
Yes, they're talking
about it with friends.
So if they won't see it on their phones, they'll see it on somebody else's phone.
Okay.
Yeah. So those are the topics that you actually need to talk to them about. Yeah.
So make them aware that these things exist.
Yes.
First of all.
Yeah.
All right. What about like bullying and pedophiles and these people who are luring children into, all this other activities, right? Like how do you then just monitor? Are there like signs that maybe if this child is, comes home from school and just wants to stay in their bedroom and with their device and not talk, right? How then do you know? Because we have a lot of children who have been bullied on the internet, right? Just because there's no limit, there's no boundary to how much you can access. And this other party, of course, got access to your child and started bullying them online. Yeah.
When bullying happens to your child, especially if you know your child very well, there are many changes they have. They're quiet. They're more reserved. They might not stop talking. They might not want to go to school. So you need to ask them exactly what is happening. And when you find that bullying has been done, immediately do not go and report. Go and report, and go to the school and report, and take your child for therapy. Yeah, and usually children are lured into. That's why you need to really talk to your children, especially the girls, about their self-esteem, their self-worth, how they look like. You need to, as parents, as a community, we need to start talking to these children and letting them know that you are beautiful the way you are. No one should tell you more. And fathers need to come into the girl's life. So because there's a gap. If you find that this child is being lured into maybe by a pedophile, or being told, let me see your boobs, or let me see online. There's a gap that is missing. There's some that this child is looking for, and they're getting assurance on the internet. So we need to come in as parents to really assure these children that they're good enough the way they are. And it comes from us as role models. Because if you start talking about the way, as a mother, I think I need to lose my face, that I look nice, I have big hips, I have things. So even your little daughter is listening to you, they'll also say, I'm not good enough. And then when somebody out there, and maybe daddy has not given them the assurance and the affirmation that they are not very good enough, or they are not beautiful enough, somebody out there will tell you you're beautiful today. Tomorrow they'll tell you, let me see your shoulder. Next time they'll tell you, remove your shirt, because you're beautiful. So there's always a gap. There's always something of affirmation that this child is not getting from somewhere.
I see.
That's why they're being lured into this.
Into some of this. All right. Okay. Talk to them, and like we're saying now, it's very interesting because you can sit down with the child and have a conversation as if you're having a conversation with an adult, because they know so much, for their age. So it's very easy for them to ask all these questions. They're curious about some of these things. So just talk to them and let them really understand how dangerous, first of all, the internet can be. Because again, like you're saying, if they don't get this from home, and looking at the internet and how social media has defined beauty, you see, there is a gap,
Yeah.
you know, like you're saying, it's very easy for them to fall into this is the standard of beauty, or this is how things are supposed to be done. This is what you should have achieved by this time. And then if you're not there, you consider yourself worthless and all those things.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, because we think a lot of kids doing amazing things on the internet, and they're thriving and they're successful.
and they're making good money.
Right? Yeah. Okay, so proper use is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So then, to that effect, what skills do parents need now? Because like I said, things are changing. We have some parents who are like, me, I don't really care about the internet, or me, I don't care about social media, or me, I don't care about even having a smartphone. I just don't care, right? So what are some of the skills that parents need now in order to properly raise their children in this era?
Well, the most important thing is, what I think is, understand yourself as a person.
Ah, okay. All right.
Be comfortable in your own skin as a person. And hurt people hurt others. So you as a parent, if you're hurt, if there's some issues you're going through, you've not resolved them, you'll definitely rub them off to your children.
All right.
Yeah. And the other thing is, to be honest, there's an age you reach as a parent, you'll not catch up what's on the phone.
That's true.
You will not. Don't even try. Don't even try and think you'll know more than your child when it comes to social media.
Okay.
Yeah. So
what? Educate yourself.
Try and educate yourself as much as you can, and you have the person to educate you in the house.
Your child.
Your child is
free of charge.
Your child is going to educate you. Yeah. So don't. Yeah. And then the other thing I was saying is bring in a community.
Okay.
As much as most parents, and you alluded to it, my child did not touch, my child did not do this, it's me, it's my, but bring in a community, a village, bring up a village always works. Especially when they reach 13, they will not, they'll stop listening to you. You don't know. Yeah. My mom, I don't, my dad, they don't know.
Yeah.
But bring in a cool auntie.
Yeah.
Bring in a cool uncle. Yeah. Bring in somebody who has the same values as you, not anyone.
You know, when you're talking about cool aunties, it's usually like the opposite. So it's like the kids' favorite because they can get
away with it.
Yes.
But you see, they can get away with a little bit. But this cool uncle and cool auntie is give them a little bit of values.
Okay.
It's training them. Yeah.
Okay.
So when they are quiet and maybe they've been bullied at school, they won't tell you. So you call in this person, to talk to them.
Or also to help you as a parent, right? Because this cool auntie or cool uncle would understand a lot of things that are happening, right, in this digital age. So they will sort of like, quote unquote, chanua you. You know, if your child says a certain term and you're like, what does that even mean? Right? This cool auntie or uncle could help you with this thing.
Exactly.
Okay, so allow your children to be raised by a community with the same values. Love the way you're insisting on the same. Okay, so teach yourself. Do not be ignorant of the fact that the internet is here. Just say, you know, the internet is a bad place. I don't care about it. I do not want to know what is happening over there. Your children are on the internet, so you need to at least keep yourself up to speed. Okay. Someone says here, this is Kipkoech Turgut Newton on Facebook, says it has improved with the help of advancement in technology. And not to say that the digital space is the devil, the internet technology is the devil. It has helped, right, in one way or the other in terms of raising kids and parenting. So could we talk about like the positive aspect of the internet, how then we can leverage that as parents to make sure that then our kids are not denied, you know, access to the internet, but they also understand how they need to be safe, even as we have, you know, or allow them to have access to all these apps and, you know, just the internet in general.
In fact, during COVID, it was a default. We all went to the internet. All our children were doing school. Homework, school, on the internet. And that helps. That opened a lot of parents' eyes. They say, you know what, computers are not very bad. This is where you do your research. This is where you get your education. This is where you're taught so many things. You go to YouTube. You self-teach yourself how to communicate. So the internet is the world. And nowadays you can sit and do an interview. You're in Kenya, but you're doing an interview in London. You don't need to go there.
That's true.
Yeah. So the internet has, in fact, it has more positives than the negatives. So like most people are really looking at the negatives. Yeah. But the internet is big. If it's used very well, it can. It's a teacher. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, because we've seen a lot of cases where something happens to the child, right? Even at school, the parents might not necessarily know, but because someone has a phone and they're recording this whole thing that is happening at school, and then sends it on social media, it's able to reach the authorities or reach the relevant, institutions that are supposed to protect the children and all those things. So it has brought out a lot of, these vicious things that are happening to the kids that we wouldn't otherwise know if it was not for the internet. So it can be a good place, And
it's also a gadget. You can also use it to communicate. So I said earlier, if you've been posted out of your second out of the country, this is what you use to talk to your children. You FaceTime them.
That's true.
Yeah. So this gadget is not a bad thing at all. It's just how you use it. Water is not bad. But if I use it badly, it will kill me.
That's true.
Yeah, it will choke me. But I can use it
if
for...
you drink like 5 liters a day, that's not good for you.
So it's just how we use it.
Yeah.
Just how we use it, but it's a very, very good thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Someone says here as well, this is Laura Joy, still on Facebook, that says, it has. Some of us grew with absentee parents, and because of that, we have decided to be present in our kids' lives. So, of course, parenting has also changed, over time. All right. And also understanding how important screen time is, because like we said, not just the phones. They have the iPads, they have the laptops, they have smart TVs, right? And a lot of kids would spend a lot of times now watching TV as compared to playing outside. So how much screen time is recommended? I'm asking this, I mean, as a parent, yes, but also psychologically, because again, like we said, their brains still developing. They are like sponges. They are absorbing everything. So how much screen time is too much, and how much is the sort of like recommended screen time for them?
Recommended dose.
Okay.
For a child to sleep is not less than 8 hours. So let's start from there.
All right.
Children should sleep at least 8 hours. 8
All
hours.
Right. Okay.
Right? So if you calculate that, so maybe a child goes to bed maybe at 8 and wakes up maybe at 6 or 7, depending. Then there's homework. Does homework for 2 hours. Let's say it does homework for 2 hours.
Okay.
So the only time, I think, screen time. There's no recommended time for screen time. I can't even. I'm trying to think of a recommended time for screen time. But you cannot leave a child with a gadget with more than 2 hours.
Okay.
In fact, the 10 and below should be not even more than 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And that is researched.
Yeah.
From 10 and above, it shouldn't be more than even an hour. Even less, the better. So the less screen time a child gets, the better.
The better.
Yeah. 2 hours is too much.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Or if there's 2 hours, if it's 1 hour, an interval, then another. Divide the timings.
Yeah. Okay.
They should not sit. On the gadget throughout PlayStation the whole day. No.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not good for their health. Not good for their brain. Not good for their heart. It's just not good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, again, divide the hours. Like if you're allowing them an hour a day or 2 hours a day, divide. That. So that's then, because majority of the times we see them do this. It's like really close to the eye, which is not good.
They enter a restaurant. The first thing they'll ask is Wi-Fi password.
True. That is so true.
And us included as grown-ups. So immediately, you've not even ordered for food. The first order you have is a Wi-Fi password.
And the food comes and everybody's on their phone like
everybody's on their phone and eating, So
okay, all right. And I like the fact that you said earlier on, establish rules and boundaries. I mean, dinner time, let's not have phones, including the adults, right? Whether there's, okay, in a case of an emergency, that's different. But whether it's work or not, dinner time, like set those times, important times for family. Because at the same time, parents are busy. You need to get to the office maybe like by 6 a.m. and maybe you come home late. So you don't really have enough time to bond with your children. So if you have like those special moments that you consider this a family time, let the boundaries be there and be very clear, for the children. Okay, and aside from setting boundaries, as far as just limiting number of their screen time, or what age they need to have a device, or how much of access they have to the internet, sites that you need to sort of like keep off, protect them from. What are some of these other things that parents can do? Because like we said, it's one thing to have the skill, but it's also another thing to make sure that all those things are implemented, just to make sure that you keep your child safe.
Okay. Number one, the other thing is also don't allow gadgets in your child's room. Let everything be in access where everyone else is seeing.
Okay.
So they shouldn't go with their phones or their laptops or the desktop in their room.
Okay.
Yeah. Let it be in a place where
you can see.
You can see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then this includes the teenagers as well, because those ones get me rebellious. They were like, "But I'm an adult."
Yeah,
you're not ideally, but
unless depending on the rules you put in your house. But I would say maybe when they start going to when they reach 17, 18 years. Yeah. You can start. Yeah. Then use of phone over the weekdays.
When you should be doing your homework or sleeping.
Yeah, I'm yet to get a parent, unless you're away and you really need to talk to this child. I don't see why. I don't see why this child should be having a phone on weekdays. Yeah. Because they come in the house by 6. Yeah. They take breakfast, they shower, they eat, they're doing their homework. By 9 they should be sleeping. So what are they catching up?
There's no room for.
There's no because they had their friends in school. So tell me what they're catching up. Yeah, unless you're far and you really need to talk to them. Yeah.
Okay.
So put some rules on the time. So weekdays, I don't see why a child should have a phone. So maybe weekends you can agree. I'll give you 2 hours. Yeah.
And then you go out and play.
Then you need to go out and play. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is also in all the gadgets, like PlayStations, all those things. Yeah. Movies and all that. To YouTube, all these weekdays, I think we should try and limit.
Yeah.
We can't have rules and allow them. And also, as you said, they need to go out and play.
Yeah. It's good for them. Get them active and all those things.
Exactly.
Okay. We have parents who are content creators, right? And of course, they would create content and sometimes involve the children as well. And what I've noticed is there's some kids who are not okay being in that. Like, you can clearly tell this child has been forced, to be to be here, to be on the internet. There's some parents who choose to completely keep their kids out of, social media. You will never see them. They will never post their children. They will absolutely... anything that concerns their child is private, and they keep it at that, which I think it's okay, right? That works for them. But there are others who the child is born, already they have an account, okay? They're being posted on social media all the times. And then, of course, when the parent wants to create content, they also involve the child. And the child maybe is not okay with the same. So then when it comes to boundaries, respecting your child's boundaries, right? Can we just address that very little? Because some parents would think, I am the parent here, so whatever I say goes, right? And maybe the child is not comfortable.
You're breaking a relationship with that child. There'll be resilience. So why? I think you need to look at the future. When they're small, they might not say no, but as they grow bigger, they'll say no, and now there'll be no relationship. It's like forcing your child to go to soccer, and they don't want. And they'll really resent that. So the relationship between you and your child is breaking because you want to do something for your own benefit, for your own good. You're living your dream in your child's life. It's not the child doesn't want that. So you need to have a discussion with this child. Are you okay? Because I've seen very many content where daddy and daughters are doing very well on social media. And you can see the child is happy and doing it. And that's a very good for bonding. And the video are very safe, very nice, and you can bond that way. But if a child doesn't want,
if they say no,
if they say no, I think you need to respect that. Because you want to create content, but this child doesn't want to be on social media. So you're living your dream. You're forcing them to do something that they don't want. That brings resentment. your relationship with that child is going to break. You won't have a relationship.
Yeah.
And immediately when they become older, they take off. Yeah.
Yeah, or even then don't grow up knowing that when you say no, people will not respect that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
there's
so
no
becomes,
bond.
Yeah, there's no boundary for them. But at the same time, even those ones who, I mean, the kids are happy, they enjoy being on the internet with their parents, creating content. But at the same time, people tend to attack, right? The parents, they would attack the child, in the process as well. So then how do you protect your child? Because again, yes, they are okay and they're happy being on the internet and creating content, and it's beautiful to see. But at the same time, when attacks come, of course, this will affect the child one way or the other. So then how do you set that boundary, in terms of, yes, protect the child, but also allowing them to be creative and to express themselves, on the internet and just show these other beautiful sides of them. So how do you then balance that? Because you cannot dictate what someone is going to say, right? There's some really bad people out here who will just say things and attack children on the internet.
You can even like now we are sitting here, and people are watching, and this thing is going to be on YouTube or something. I don't know.
Yes.
There's somebody who will always attack.
Yes.
So that's what you need to tell your child. That you come into this space. People will always say mean things. That's what they'll say. People will always say mean things. But I'm daddy and I'm mommy, and I'll try and protect you as much as I can. Okay. But see, as growing up, they realize that. Because you've opened that door of communication with them, and they'll know people will always say mean things. So they'll grow up knowing and understanding that, you know what, I know myself, I know my worth. Whatever you say, imagine, it's not true, because I'm doing this thing for myself, not for you. Okay. So just keep on talking to them. And protect. If it's a little child, protect them as much as you can. Let them not see those kind of comments for now. Protect them as much as you can.
Okay. Try and protect, because sometimes it can be difficult.
Really. It can be nasty.
All right. So as we bring this then to a close, how do we get to that point of creating this very open relationship with our children, in the sense that if someone slides into their DM and says some mean things or things that are not okay, right? Or explicit things to them, they can easily come to you, as a parent, and tell you, this is what, is happening on my DMs. So then how do we get to that level of, closeness and we can be friends and we can bond, that my child can trust me and come tell me anything that happens on the internet? How do we get there? And I'll take that as your parting shot.
There's this thing of your 12-year-old child come to tell you, Mom, in school, so-and-so did this and this and this. That so-and-so did is maybe her. So she's testing you. Okay. So how you react
will determine
whether she'll trust you or not, he'll trust you or not, and now put you in his world. All
right.
So being defensive, being judgmental, even judging their friends, will determine how close. So they start with little things. I went to school and so did this and this and this. So you start name calling that person, getting angry, getting annoyed. Your child will say, you know what, hey, mommy, I can't tell her anything.
I can't tell her anything.
I can't tell daddy anything. Because that's how they're going to react? No.
Okay.
And then being judgmental and then talking about their friends
in a
negative way.
Okay.
They will not.
Okay.
Or when they tell you something, you're calling auntie so-and-so and auntie so-and-so. Immediately they've told you something, you're on your phone, or telling people her business with everyone, they won't trust.
I mean, that reminds me of a video I saw on the internet where this child says, when did my business become mommy's business and everybody else's business? Because I tell her something and then they call everybody. I saw that video. But all right, okay. How you react will determine whether they trust you or not. Exactly. But try as much as possible, be level-headed and try, find solutions for what is happening. Okay, I see that. Roslyn, thank you so much. Roslyn Keegan, marriage and family therapist, who's here today to just really help us understand how we navigate parenting in this digital era. So I hope that you've learned a lot. Rosalind, thank you.
Thank you
so much for coming by today. Hope you've learned a lot and picked, a few things here and there as far as, helping you survive as a parent in this digital era. But if you still have more questions for her, send them on our socials at NTV Kenya, both on Facebook, on Twitter, and of course on YouTube as well. That is at NTV Kenya, and we'll pick it up from there. But for now, allow us to say goodbye. Have yourselves a lovely day ahead. I'll see you tomorrow morning right here on Your World. But until then, stay safe and goodbye.